Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you some more spoiler coverage of the Vingolf. We have our last ruler, we are getting some darkness cards. Let us just dig right in. We have more of the Empire's stuff. This is Selvaria Bless. She is the darkness ruler. She's a Draystern, she is actually a Valkyrie. Lots of other crazy stuff going on. Judgment is 6. But you can play 3 less if you control Maximilian, so that kind of makes sense with their character dynamic in the game / show or whatever. She flips over into Selvaria Bless, definitely full-on Valkyrie mode here. When she enters your field, up to 2 target resonators gain -3/-3 for each Draystern you control. So she is a Draystern, that's a type. So immediately right then, up to 2 things will gain -3/-3. It's not terribly impactful. The -3, it's things that you can't kind of like stack it, like even if she's just the only one. So we'd have to kind of see what happens there. But a 9/7 also is kind of a little weak in terms of stats, but we'll have to see what she can do with it. Then we have her Lance, added J Resonator. It is a 4-cost Lance, very expensive, but added Resonator gains +4/+4, and whenever this card deals damage, you gain that much life. So give something lifelink, that's pretty cool, but for 4, I think that's maybe a little bit too expensive. But we'll have to see. In the playing in just like Vingolf style events, that could be pretty impactful. Then we have Imperial Tank is a 2-drop, our last regalia. Your opponent pays 1 more to play Judgment abilities, so that's pretty good. Tap, your J-Ruler gains 200 attack, or tap, banish a Resonator. Your J-Ruler gains +5/+5 until the end of the turn. So this again is not super impactful, I think. I definitely liked the tank that we got on Tuesday way better. But I still think it's something to be, looked into for more, aggressive decks. If you have like some extra will, or especially with like Arla, with his ability to kind of like recoup will, it's not necessarily as big of a deal to play this and then recoup some will and then keep moving from there. So plus, Levitine is essentially a little bit stronger than Levitine, but like earlier on, but the later you go, the more creatures you have, Levitine just gets better than this. Then we have Bertrand Gregor. He is a Draystern. It's a 3-drop, 3/5, and whenever this card attacks, target Resonator gains -4/-4 until the end of the turn. So that's not great. That's not awful though. His stats are just a little bit low, I think, for a 3-drop, even despite his effect. He essentially can trade with anything that's a 7/7, but like that's not that great. It's still not that impactful. I don't think there's a lot of things that can deal with 7/7s for cheaper. I don't necessarily think that a 3 cost is really worth it. Then we have Maximilian himself. He is a 6-drop. I think he's the most expensive card we've seen so far from this set. He is the general. He is the big bad guy. He's a 1,000/1,200. When he enters your field, pop a Resonator, so that's not bad. Carmilla, Darkvaria, they do these things for 4. Maximilian does it for 6, but he's more powerful. But whenever opponent gets Resonator gets put into a graveyard from your opponent's field, you gain 400 life. So that's kind of the trade-off. He's got a little bit better stats, and he gets 2 effects. So he'll kill something, and then you'll gain 400 life. So that's not terrible. I definitely see that maybe as like a 1-of or a 2-of in certain control decks, that could be useful. Then we have Jaeger, Rady Jaeger, also a Draystern military, 2-drop, 5/5, back to real normal stats. When he enters your field, target Resonator your opponent controls gain -2/-2 until the end of the turn. That's, a nice little solid 2-drop hit. You can play a creature turn 1, they play a turn 1 creature, you go turn 2 Rady to weaken their guy, and then swing in with your turn 1 hit, and then, it's kind of like, oh, well, I don't really want to block now because we're not really going to trade. It can open some doors, so I think that's pretty cool. It's kind of a tempo card that I think Darkness kind of needed. Then we have Hammer of the Valkyrie. It's a 4-cost instant that just says destroy target J/Resonator. It's a really big text box for not a lot of text, but that's still pretty cool. Having another way to kill J-Rulers is really awesome. I know that some people are going to compare this kind of to Black Moonbeam. I think, based on the situation, I think I would probably maybe play this instead, unless I'm seeing Reflect and then Black Moonbeam comes in. But this because it can also be like an in-upkeep, 4-cost kill, a Resonator too. Then we have Ragn Gas. This is the last card, and it's target J/Resonator gains -5/-5 until the end of the turn. It is a spell chant instant for 2. This is essentially just a worse Dark Purge, and I see why they put it in Vingolf, because they need kind of like steeple-ish kind of cards to help people with deck building, but I would just play Dark Purge. Unless I'm not playing a heavy darkness deck, because if I remember correctly, Dark Purge is 2 double darkness, but I might be wrong. So either way, I don't necessarily think this card is that great, especially since we have, like I said, if we have Dark Purge, it's just infinitely better for the same cost. But those are what we have for today. I'm a little bit surprised that Darkness kind of got hit with so few like bomb cards. Last Vingolf, Darkness had some of the best cards in the set, so that's a little bit weird, but we'll have to see what else comes out. I'm sure we're going to see more cards as we get closer to Vingolf. But let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. As always, check out my Patreon to go support me and maybe get access to some really exclusive content that I do on there once we hit certain goals. And until next time, guys, this is DMO73 signing off.